What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. We're down here. I'm trying to adjust this thing and I accidentally pressed it. So I was like, let me just go ahead and start since nothing's really an accident, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, y'all. So what's up, everybody? I got my coffee. I got my lip dew. I got my reefer. We are ready. Got my mic. Girl. This morning yesterday, not this morning, yesterday in the comments, someone said something about the beauty influencer Arnell. Can't remember her last name. She's a twin. When you said the name in the comments, Arnell Armand. When you said the name in the comments yesterday, I was like, that name looks familiar. I think she's a twin, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's a twin. She's a twin. She got to be a twin. She's a twin because I remember seeing two of them at one point, and now it's just one of them. But apparently, the people were dragging her for being a single mother. So I've been on my let's dismantle the single mother stigma. I've been on that kick. Remember, I mentioned that about a year ago. It's been about a year since I mentioned. I said, I'm going to start talking about how we need to get away from shaming or attempting to shame women by insulting them by calling them a baby mama, by making women feel a certain way about being solo parents, um, and raising their children, acting like it's something that they've done wrong. And I think we really need to get out of that. Like, even women trying to shame another woman for having a baby without being married. The other day, that comment really stuck out to me because I know what people are trying to do when they say things to me. But she was like, you wouldn't understand because you had two children out of wedlock, as if there's a difference between having children when you're married and having children when you're not married, when the man who's there is not helping you at all, because there is a phenomena of the married single mother. It's no phenomenon, it's actually a cultural fucking staple. So there, to me, there is no difference than having a sperm donor or being married to a useless man who is not going to help you do anything around the house. The term single mother, the word single denotes that there's no man there. You're not married. That's it. You're not going to shame me for being the mother to a child and a man not being around. Girl, give me a fucking break. When it's always been like that. You're not going to shame me to say there's no father in the home. Girl, have you seen these niggas? Have you been around these niggas lately? Right? She started off her story. When she started off her story, I said, I sound like I was looking at myself, doing stuff, getting involved too fast, getting pregnant super fast, trusting somebody really fast. And look what it turns out to be. Never mind that, whether for me, I don't care about the relationship part of it. Just take care of your responsibility and take care of your responsibility. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't have been in this situation had I taken longer to get to know the person, didn't move as fast. But if you ever know my story, you will understand why I may have went as fast as I did, why it moved as fast as I did. I was by myself in a city, small support system, but very small support system, but still alone in the city. There were other variables as to why I moved as fast as I did in that relationship. And here we are, and now I dealt with the things that I dealt with as a result. But I was always going to choose myself. It didn't matter. I was always going to choose myself before anything. Even if I was in the relationship, I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to choose my children. And you are not going to shame me and make me feel bad for doing that. And anybody around here insulting women by calling them you just a baby mama, as if being a wife holds more value than being a mother. To me, being a mother holds more value than being attached to some motherfucking man. And how dare you allow anyone to shame you for that? How are you going to shame someone for being a mother to a child? And then like use it as an insult, as if it's not a part of the culture. That's what's crazy to me, is how are you going to insult thousands of women when it's literally a part of the culture? But you're going to use it as a way to insult them. Why? Oh, because y'all a bunch of fucking male worshipers, and y'all are want to shame these women for not keeping these terrorizers around them. Have you ever thought, oh, there's no father in your home? Have you ever thought that he probably causes a lot of disharmony in the home? Have you ever thought about they don't want him there? Have you ever thought about that? Maybe he's not as great as you think he is. Have you ever thought about that? Then you want to shame the women for choosing. Okay, that's fine. But I see women who wait a long time and choose the right way and do all the right things, and they down to the county office looking for help. Trad wives. They did everything according to this idealized television version of family. They did everything like June Cleaver and still down to the damn state office asking for WIC. Huh? I'm just asking. So I want you to hear her story. I didn't get I guess she posted something that they didn't know that she was a single mother, and the people went nuts on her. I can't even imagine in 2024, as we progress and evolve, that there's still people who are throwing tomatoes at a woman for not being married and having a child, when that is literally 1 in 4 children. How many thousands of children did they say in their lifetime will grow up with just one parent at a portion of their life? Come on. Because in real life, parents don't stay together. So what the fuck? This marry before you carry. Go ask the trad wives how that worked out for them. Go ask them how it worked out for the marry before you carry. This idea that this guarantee, what's guaranteed is that a human came out of your vessel. That's your baby. If this man stays or leaves, that's your baby. That's your baby. That's why you give it your last name, whether you married or not. This is my baby, God damn it. Because what's not guaranteed is your presence here next to me, next to this baby. You are not guaranteed. This is guaranteed. That's my baby. So whether you stay or go, nigga, bye, because we doing great without you. You understand what I'm saying? You guys, and there's so many people who have thrived in solo parent homes. And I can't believe any group of people are around here trying to shame anyone for being a solo parent, when more than likely 1 in 4 of all the people shaming this woman for being a single mother came from a single parent home. The stats show that. So while you over here using it as a way to shame somebody, when you actually embody and have that experience, is wild as hell. I went to TikTok and I wanted to find the video. So here it is. She says, "I'm a single mom. Let's talk about it." I typically don't get on camera looking like this, but there's a lot online, so let's talk about it. So recently, there's been a lot of discourse about me being a single mother. I first want to start off by saying, if you're just now finding out this news, you're pretty late. However, I don't expect everyone to know me and my personal life. I know some of you guys are new to me. If you are, I'm a single mother. And to me personally, I have felt like a single mother since during my pregnancy, in ways mentally prepared myself for this based on how things were going during the relationship. But officially, I became a single mother 10 days after I gave birth. My child's father, I would say, abruptly ended the relationship and didn't give me an actual reason. I didn't ask for one.
I saw that coming. In fact, I myself tried to end the relationship.
You know how fucked up a situation has to be for a woman to break up with the child's father days after giving birth? For me, it was 7 days. She said 10 days. Like I said in her comments, what when she started telling her story, I was like, oh, I know this story. And a lot of women, ironically, know this story, but none of the men that they were with know any niggas who ain't shit. Even the men that are the fathers of the children of the women who've had these experiences. Right.
During the relationship. So it wasn't something I was upset about. I more so was upset about how I was treated afterwards. It's almost like because I didn't respond, I don't know if he wanted me to be like, oh my God, like, don't do this. I had just given birth. I was mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. I didn't have the capacity to chase after anyone, especially someone who had caused me so much stress and turmoil, anyways, that it felt more like a relief to me. But because
She said it felt more like a relief. For a lot of women, releasing the man is the relief. I don't understand why everybody's acting like this is something new.
didn't respond in the way that I believe he was hoping I responded, so much of what he did after the fact was what made me think like, yo, are you trying to make my life hard? Are you trying to ruin my life? There's so many details that I have not shared in order to not just protect him, but to also to try to keep some peace. But it seems like no matter what I do, no matter how flexible I've been, no matter how chill I've been, there's no such thing as peace when dealing with someone who happens to be how he is. Now, there's been a lot of people talking about, oh, well, this was bound to happen. She barely knew him. I told you guys that. Now, if you did the math and you've been following me, you knew, but I shared that information with you guys. I've held myself accountable for that. I've said I've not known him long enough before not even just getting pregnant by him, before even sleeping with him, getting into a relationship. I did not know that man or his family long enough before making such a big decision like the one that I made. And I have beat myself up about that time and time and time again. Like, yo, like, how did you I don't have words for that. What I will say is that being that the relationship I had just ended prior to that one was so bad, I was in no space to be dating anybody. And so when I did start dating him, there were a lot of red flags that, one, I didn't even recognize the red flags, but two, some of the ones that I did peep, I ignored them because, being honest, you guys, he love bombed me so good. It felt amazing. It felt like, wow, like I remember feeling like it was too good to be true and thinking like, is this real? Like, I was questioning it. And it turns out that was my discernment that I also ignored and had good reason to question his actions because they weren't real. But I wanted them to be, and I believe that they were during that time. To me, that's still no excuse to get pregnant that soon. However, since sharing this information, there's been many women who, if you share your story with me, thank you for trusting me with it, that have expressed to me to not fixate so much on how long I did or didn't know him, because the reality is some men change during pregnancy, after pregnancy. This could happen to anyone. This has happened to people who have known the man they've had a child with for years. And that's not to minimize my lack of responsibility for making that choice. But the reality is, I don't know how much responsibility I could take for it without completely taking all the blame, while y'all forgetting like how some of these men actually are, how a lot of them are manipulative, how a lot of them will intentionally get women pregnant and trap them and switch up on them. It happens.
Then we just talked about Destiny Fox the other day. How he's like, oh, we gonna have a baby, we gonna have a baby, we gonna have a baby. And 3 months into the pregnancy, he's like, I don't know if I want the baby. Nigga, what the fuck? That's why you have to be like, that's my baby. If you want to have a baby, that understand that there's a saying that says, um, mommy's baby, daddy's maybe. Girl, it really don't even fucking matter. It really don't. And it really don't. If you read history, you could see that men were brought in for the women and then they sent the men back out. That's it. So there could be women that have the all the children are related. We all cousins, but y'all are giving these men who do not deserve access. Hello, we have given men who do not deserve access to us access to us. We have undeserving. Why you think Meg Thee Stallion was lying about Tory Lanez? Girl. That's why I'm saying I don't even know why the girls were down in the comments wearing her out, because there might be one or two where you will take to the grave with you. Hello? Like, girl, absolutely not. You're going to have to get me in a court of law and put my hand on Aesop's fables for me to tell you I slept with that motherfucker, girl. Absolutely not. Don't let them close to you. I'm trying to tell you, everybody don't deserve the DNA duplication. Everybody doesn't deserve access to you. And that's the message. That is the message. That is the message. Because they don't. Everybody is not a potential husband. Everybody is not going to be a great father. Most are not. Some get jealous as soon as the baby gets there, because now you have this is your baby, and now they actually really literally don't have any connection besides the DNA duplication, and so they feel some kind of way and start getting jealous themselves. We've seen those stories time and time and time and time again. This happens to married people time and time again. So for people to act like something like this particular dynamic is like, oh my God, what is she doing? Like, girl, this has been happening. I just played you The Way We Never Were, talking about half of the motherfucking people in the early 19th century. Nobody was married. Nobody. Half of the motherfuckers wasn't married, having babies. Now all of a sudden you want to judge somebody for having a baby and being a solo parent. That's why you cultivate relationships with women and create a tribe, because it does take a village, and typically the village is full of women and children and some gay men. Okay, right.
Time and time again. And unfortunately, because of the platform that I have, and because, that's the only thing I can think of. There's been a lot of people who, it's almost like I've been doing this for 10 years. Sometimes it feels like there's people just waiting for me to either up or for something bad to happen to me so they could talk about it, because it happens every single time. And right now there's people saying that I've said things, that I've done things, so this is my karma. I want to let you know, if you're one of those people, I want you to look in the mirror and acknowledge what
Imagine telling someone that you being a single mother is your karma. Like you like and we know how most people utilize karma as a punishment system. So they're saying you're being punished for having a child and not having a man there around you, in proximity to you. Never mind that the father and the child's relationship can still happen. It can still happen. What I tell you, they don't care. They just want, it's an ego booster to have a child. It's an ego boost to have a child. They don't have to accomplish nothing in life ever, never. They don't have to do nothing else but have a child. And luckily, we have set society up to where all the women believe that every single motherfucking man is a potential to be a husband, a father, and all of the things. So you give every motherfucking man, every other motherfucking man, if you just a little choosy, a chance. And most of them don't deserve a chance at all. That's why they want you to get involved for love, because love and money, you're gonna love. Oh, we love it. Where's the money? Where's the financial stability? Where's the emotional security? Where's all that stuff? And now let's sell them monogamy, because that way each man could have a possibility of having a woman. They all won't go to one man who has all the resources. Let's make it to where, okay, let's give them monogamy. Let's make them not trust each other so they wouldn't want other women around and say, hey, this is a man who has resources. He has quality DNA. This is where we should be going, ladies. No, we want to make it monogamy so this woman can be like, this is my man and he's only my man and no my man and my man and my man. No, let's make it to where everybody has a possibility of duplicating their DNA. Because we can't just let a few select men be able to duplicate their DNA. We need more women to believe that more of these men are suitable. And the truth is, 85% of them are not. And that's the truth. And I don't even, I'm just coming up with a fucking percentage. But I bet you I'm right on the money. 85% of them do not deserve DNA duplication. Hell, I'll even go lower. It's probably only 8 8%. Shit. 85% of you, I'm gonna say 92% of you do not deserve DNA duplication. And women are giving men access to them. They don't deserve DNA duplication. I guarantee you this man that she fell in love with, love bombed her and did all the things. I guarantee you he does not deserve DNA duplication. But if he don't have to accomplish nothing in life, he has evidence of his existence and you helped him do it. Be more selective who you help duplicate. Okay? Be more selective. Literally be more selective. Know who his family is. That's the reason why they do this nuclear family shit, because it's be like, it's me and you against the world, girl. You don't even need to know my mother. You don't need to know my dad. You don't need to know my family. You don't need to know who I come from, the people I come from. You don't need to know. It's just me and you, girl. Move you further and further away from community so you can actually see who this motherfucker is. Let's move you over here. No. Let me finish.
Hypocrite you are, because there's been a lot of people talking about, oh, well, she's made fun of this person and she's said this, she's done this. Are you not doing the same thing? And so if I allegedly did these things, which I didn't, and my current circumstance is my karma for that, which I disagree with. I don't believe this is karma for anything. But if my situation, if this is my karma for doing these things that some of you guys are saying I'm doing, if you're doing the same thing that you're claiming I did, what happens when you get your karma and it goes viral on social media? Would I then be the bad guy if I say, well, that's what they get for teasing me for being a single mom? No, I can't say that, because since I have this platform, it's, oh, see, you're a messed up person. Stop looking for reasons not to like people. You don't have to like me. You don't need a reason for that. You don't. And you don't have to follow me either, because there's a lot of people who are engaging in negative discourse about me, saying all these negative things about me, but you follow me. And I'm not forcing you to do that. If you're following me in hopes that you see me fail,
That's
not going to happen.
crazy.
If you're following me in hopes that you see me mess up, that probably will happen, because guess what? Just because someone has a huge platform, it doesn't mean they're not a person. I'm not a robot. So yes, I'm going to mess up. I'm 29 years old. I don't know
29.
how much time I have on this earth. I can guarantee you that if I live until I'm 80, from 29 to 80, you'll think I'm gonna, during that time, do you not?
I was 30. I'm trying to tell you.
Yourself. There's so many people who follow influencers waiting for them to mess up, looking for reasons to dislike them. They don't even realize how much projection they're doing. A lot of you guys project who you are onto me, and that's the reality. A lot of you guys project how you feel about yourself onto me. There's so many people who talk about, why I think she's actually really mean. You're being mean right now. Stop projecting who you are into me. What do you want me to say? Do I have my mean moments? Yes. Are there opinions and thoughts that if I shared them, some of you guys would disagree with them? Absolutely. I'm very opinionated. I'm not getting on here for everyone to agree with me either. I do my makeup videos, I do my hair videos, I do my little fragrance reviews, I do my little vlogs, and I keep it moving. I never told you guys to expect perfection out of me. The reason why I share the shitty things I experience, example, what I'm experiencing right now, is so that you guys know that I don't have a perfect life. Everything isn't sweet all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if I could share the good, I could share the bad, and that's what I do. Another thing, there's so many people who express that influence, there's so many influencers that are just fake, you know, like they don't show the real them. I show the real me and I get criticized.
And it's crazy because y'all are looking for these human beings who make content, whether it's family content, beauty content, whatever kind of content, whatever. But what you're looking for is a symbol of what you saw on television. You are looking for this perfect family and wanting them to do what you see perfect families do on TV. And then when they human, all of a sudden now, oh my God, oh my God. And the content creators fall into that trap too. Instead of showing the humanity of who they are, they try to portray a fake television sitcom type of family. And that's not real life. That's not real life. But if we use TV to program the people, then we'll have them thinking that this is what it's supposed to look like, when in reality, the way we never were, and other books like it telling you this is not what it was. While you are around here trying to shame people for being solo parents, it's crazy because in reality, it's always been like that. Listen to this. I'm not going to even let her finish because I want y'all to hear this. I played it for you yesterday. Hold on. Let me play this one first. Let me play this video first because um this is what made me say, like, oh, we need to talk about this single mom shaming thing. That shit is played. When I tell you that shit is played out, it's played out with racism, homophobia, transphobia. All that shit is played out, y'all. And I don't know what kind of thorny bushes and roses y'all are trying to hold on to and conserve, but you're bleeding to death and it's ugly. And you're going to get left. How are you shaming? Like, how are you shaming? Like, go look up fatherless children. It's like an American thing, not just a black thing. White women are getting let their husbands is leave. They're single mothers. Latin women are single mothers. Asian women are single mothers. I mean, like, you act like these nuclear families are thriving and all over the place, and that's not it. And then you're shaming people for not doing something that doesn't even exist, and people are experiencing shame and guilt off of nothing. Shame, guilt, and fear off of nothing. A lie. A lie. Because nowhere does it say. Nowhere does it say that he needs to be in proximity to the mother in order to raise the child. Nowhere does it say that. Oh, your two-parent homes are better. No, it's actually better two people, whether that the parents are not, two adults or more. If it's just one adult and they have a tribe and a community around them, that's all. That's literally the proverb. It takes a village. Why? Because the niggas ain't around. So you're going to need your people around you to help you with this person so that they can grow up, and then you send them they asses out. Come on. They've been doing it for generations. How dare you allow anyone to shame you for it? Listen to this.
Talk about it. So recently there's been a lot of
This is a
discourse
stitch.
about me being a single mother.
I wanted to stitch this because I don't really like this emerging trend of shaming Black single mothers for content. Because when I listen to these lectures about baby mama culture or shaming women for having children out of wedlock, I'm always left wondering how this content is helpful for women who already have children. Y'all aren't making videos educating childless women or men about birth control, family planning, sexual health, reproductive abuse. Y'all find women who are already single mothers so you can tell them that they shouldn't have had the children that they already have. These are women who are already living the most profound consequences of their reproductive decisions in a society that treats fathers as an afterthought, even in two-parent households. So creating discourse that's meant to rub their faces in the residue of their broken homes doesn't do anything but make y'all feel better. And I can tell that a lot of y'all don't actually give a fuck about the betterment of Black mothers because y'all get on this app and advocate for them to be stripped of one of the main things that can help them raise their children more effectively: community. Day after day, I see takes about how women who had children with shitty men don't deserve friendship, sympathy, empathy, or relief. They can't even vent or complain about their situations. A lot of you don't even center the children in your own lives and neighborhoods, but we're supposed to believe that you're shaming single mothers out of genuine concern. And as much as Black traditionalists hate to hear this, a nuclear family is something that has never been accessible to every child, whether that's due to premarital sex, divorce, or death. So while it's fine to desire more two-parent households in the Black community, a single-parent household is still a family that's worthy of community and advocacy, and shame ain't gonna raise those babies.
Evolution has occurred in family life. Marriage, for example, is no longer the major transition into adulthood. The average age for marriage has risen by 6 years since 1950. More than 3/4 of today's 18 to 24-year-old men and women have never married, and the majority of young adults today leave their parental homes and establish themselves in jobs well before marriage. Marriage also is less likely to last until death. About 50% of first marriages and 60% of second ones can be expected to end in divorce. In 1988, 16 out of every 1,000 children under age 18 saw their parents divorce, down from 19 in 1980, but still twice as many as in 1963. As a result of both the rising age for marriage and the frequency of divorce, men and women spend, on average, more than half their lives unmarried. Men and women also live more of their lives alone. Despite recent increases in the number of grown children who live with one or both of their parents, the number of single-person households has risen dramatically. Almost 4 times as many Americans between the ages of 35 and 44 live alone today as did so in 1970. Child rearing is no longer as tightly linked to marriage as in the past. Approximately 750,000 unmarried couples in America are raising children together. In 1990, 1/4 of all new births were out of wedlock. In half of them, there was no identified father. Since parenthood has ceased to inhibit divorce the way it did as late as 1970, more than half of American children will live in a single-parent household for some period during their childhood. Sex is far more likely to occur outside of marriage than at any time during recent history. By the mid-1980s, 75% of American women were sexually active before marriage. There are 2.9 million cohabitating couples in America today, an increase of 80% since 1980. People also are initiating sex at an earlier age. The percentage of women aged 15 to 19 who had had sexual intercourse at least once increased. Evolution has occurred in family life.
I would actually like to see those numbers for the teenage, because I know that teen pregnancy is down. I would like to see those numbers now, because this book was back in this is a screenshot. This was a while ago. Hold on. Because um let's see. 1992 was the original publishing date. I would like to see those numbers for teen pregnancy, because I feel like that's changed. I do. I feel like they're not as worried about it. Like they're not as worried about it. And I feel like the ones who are worried about it are kind of encouraged by their caregivers and parents, like encouraged to, like, I don't know, it's weird. And then, like, I don't know, I don't think it's as I don't think it's like the way it was. I just don't. So I would like to hear those numbers. Also, let's listen to this one. Hold on.
Has occurred in family life. Marriage, for example, is no longer the major trend. Their parent. The 1960s generation did not invent premarital and out-of-wedlock sex. Indeed, the straight-laced sexual morality of 19th century Anglo-American societies, partly revived in the 1950s, seems to have been a historical and cultural aberration. Anthropologist George Murdoch examined cultural rules concerning sexual behavior in 250 societies and found that only 3 shared our generalized sex taboo on sexual behavior of any type outside marriage. Nor is there evidence that homosexual or lesbian activity is more frequent now than it was in the past. The claim that increased toleration of such activity portends reproductive doom does not mesh with the fact that 2/3 of the historical societies for which evidence is available have condoned homosexual relations. America's founding fathers were not always married. In Concord, Massachusetts, a bastion of Puritan tradition, 1/3 of all children born during the 20 years prior to the American Revolution were conceived out of wedlock. During the 1780s and 1790s, 1/3 of the brides in rural New England were pregnant at marriage. A study of illegitimacy in North Carolina found that out-of-wedlock birth rates for white women were approximately the same in 1850 as in 1970, though the pattern was more indicative of class exploitation than it is today.
So cut the bullshit. Cut the bullshit. Stop living your lives in shame and guilt and fear based on lies. That's over with. That's done. Wake the fuck up. Unwind your goddamn eyes. Okay? How dare you even think to shame a woman for even taking, I'm taking accountability. I'm telling you everything I did to lead up to this, and now I'm taking responsibility for it. So you're not going to shame me for none of it. But there's so many women who experience, oh my God, I had my, look at Brandy Norwood. They lied and said she was married because she was pregnant and was about to have a baby. How many people out here lying and saying that they were married? So Phaedra was down there lying and saying, oh, I don't know when my baby, they gotta take them out. They gotta take them out. Doing all that lying and twisting your mouth up just so you can seem like you were married before you had a baby. Girl, don't nobody care. Look at you now. Look at you now. It doesn't matter. That does not matter. That's your baby. You should not let anybody shame you, and that's why you give your baby your last name. Can you imagine? You give him this your baby, and you give him the baby his last name so he can have a piece of him running around in here. He didn't do nothing. You almost died giving birth. Girl, please. And what does he get? He don't have to do a motherfucking thing for the rest of his life as long as he got motherfucking kids running around with his last name. No, absolutely not. I don't give a damn if you are married. Give your baby your goddamn baby. Because that connection with him may not last. And the evidence shows that it probably won't. Sorry to break it to you. Sorry to break up the fucking fantasy. Shit. How dare y'all sit in 2024 trying to shame somebody? I want to read some of the comments on her TikTok video. Hold on, let's go back to her TikTok video. I said, you have no clue how many women have the same exact story. I'm listening to this, looking at myself. Please don't allow anyone to shame you for choosing solo parenthood. You deserve peace. Somebody asked her to please elaborate on love bombing so we can learn. I need a reality and sanity check. I never understood the concept of hate following. We never forget how we're treated postpartum. Take it easy on yourself. You're doing an amazing job. We ride at dawn. Proud of you for speaking your truth that you don't owe anyone. And the fear, the guilt, and the shame keeps you silent, and that silence protects the person who did the wrong. Whatever the wrong is. Your silence protects them. Your shame protects them. Your guilt protects them. Don't you ever let anyone guilt you for being a baby's mother. You had Bambi and what's the other girl's name? Erica. Bambi like throwing it in her face. I would rather be the mother of a child than attached to someone like that. Man. Girl, what? You just a baby mama. I was a wife. I didn't have my babies out of wedlock. What the fuck does that even mean, girl? Look at you over there now, Bambi. What does that mean? And look at the man that you are throwing in someone's face. Half of y'all niggas, dusty dick nigga partners, you have no business, and you know you don't have no business throwing your nigga in somebody's face. You know you don't. You know you don't. Absolutely not. That's your baby. I wish a motherfucker would. I'm glad I got out of that because I even remember um you have this kind of like, it is like this thing about, oh, she's a single mother. Like, you know that the community, the way they look at single mothers. But then when you grow up and you do a little studying and reading and you're like, wait a minute, the women been single all this time and y'all making me feel bad for what? How come y'all not making these dudes feel bad for the way they're not showing up for their children? Like, how you making the people who stayed and took care of the children, how you mad at them? You were supposed to let that man stay around. You were supposed to keep him in your house. You were supposed to live in misery, disharmony, pain, and struggle. That's what you were supposed to do. No, you take your baby and you live in peace and you create a sanctuary around you and your babies and get you a tribe of women, other women, and gay uncles, gay uncles, gunkles. They call them gunkles. Girl, fuck these people. Girl, I'm so glad I got out of that. Like, feeling bad for, no, how dare you? No, there's no way. You have to unlearn that. When you unlearn that, you're going to sit back and ask yourself, how could I ever be ashamed of being assigned a human being to help guide them and nurture them and cultivate them into adulthood? You have been given one of the greatest missions. You have been given one of the greatest missions. And you're going to let somebody shame you because there's no man around, girl? If you don't get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit, you better empower yourself and understand that you have an assignment, and fuck what that nigga is going through. You have a different assignment. And fuck what these people are saying. That's it. Get you a tribe of women around you. That's why it's important to cultivate. That's why you don't cut your tribe off when you decide to traipse off with these weirdos. Don't cut your tribe off, because he is not guaranteed at all. What's going to happen is, that's why you need insurance on your marriages. That's why they don't want you to do prenups and stuff like that. No, because this, I don't know what can happen. Anything can happen. You see how these men act after they get jealous. I mean, it's out there. The studies are out there. They get jealous. They start acting funny. You may want his ass out of here. Get out of here. Don't let people shame you. People should always remember, it's always going to be you. Here, I want to see what other people are saying, actually.
Love bombing. Let's talk about it.
So somehow I ended up on Arnell Armand TikTok and went down that rabbit hole. Roe v. Wade and giving women choice was to avoid stuff like this. Getting pregnant after a month, having the baby. Like, what? It is, and more importantly, for your child not to be the victim. The only victim in this situation is the baby. But it seems like we have gone backwards. And when I say we, I'm talking about American women. The baby mamas come in every color of the rainbow, and the baby daddies come in every color of the rainbow.
And she's going off of a lie, ma'am. I just didn't. We just heard that. We just heard Stephanie, the author, the narrator reads Stephanie Kuntz's book, The Way We Never Were. This woman is about to reinforce a lie. Listen, I already know it. I'm going on the fantasy. Oh, these baby mamas just popping out of everywhere. Bitch, they've been here. They've been here. What are you talking about? They just popping up out of every place. It's funny because these divorces are popping up out of every place too. Y'all don't want to talk about that. God damn it. These single married mothers, those are popping up out of everywhere too. Let's talk about them. Here we go.
Behaviors like this and the random guy in Atlanta, it's like, ladies, these are beautiful women. These are women who are educated and have jobs and, professional women. And it's like we're almost going backwards with the my body, my choice. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're being so careless with our reproductive power. And that is very, very concerning. So somehow I ended up on Arnell.
That was it for her. Listen, you have to take into account the socialized engineering for little girls growing into women. You have to take that into account. You have to take that into account. That's why for some people, the way that the people are socialized, knowing that the way they're socialized is not going to change, I will opt out of participating in that, because I've had too many situations, my own personal self have witnessed too many people, have read too many statistics to say the way that these people are socialized is not conducive for me, for my overall well-being. Like, absolutely not. Like, this is crazy. I'm not about to keep trying to do this at all. And I don't have to. And furthermore, I've never wanted to. I was actually participating in systems that I didn't want to participate in. But then when you actually do the work, you realize why you did and made the choices that you made. That's why it's important for you to do the self work, so that you can say, this is the reason why I did these things, not as an excuse, but to understand the choices that you made and the path that you made and how you were raised and your relationship with your caregivers and how you grew. All of that takes into account how you show up. So that's why you have to, first thing, I know my therapist, first fucking session, she was like, forgive yourself. Period. That's number one. And once you forgive yourself, that's going to slowly allow yourself to heal, and then also give you the strength to share your story, because your story is going to help one person. And that's all you need to do. And you not sharing your story actually protects and assists in the stigma, because now you feel ashamed because you have a baby and there's no man around. Fuck that man. That's your baby. You guys don't see the grift? Oh, you're so happy to take on some man's name. You have a baby and give your baby his last name. And now y'all divorced. And now your baby's walking around with this motherfucker's last name. That's your baby. What the fuck did he do? Laid in between your legs, shot the club up, and you probably didn't even have an orgasm the day you conceived. God damn it. The fuck? You didn't do a goddamn thing. Here's another one. Let's see.
Personally, I have felt like a single mother since during my pregnancy, in ways mentally prepared myself for this based on how things were going during the relationship. But officially, I became a single mother 10 days after. The best decision that I could have ever made for my daughter was to become a single mother. If I allowed him to, that man, her father, would have ruined my life.
It's so easy to cast judgments and make incredibly rude and vicious comments about other people's lives and situations from behind a phone screen. But you don't know the half of it. I knew that I was going to be a single mom by the time I was 5 or 6 months pregnant. It was devastating. It was embarrassing. But I would say the person that was hardest on myself was me. Yes, I see all the podcast conversations and the comments and the opinions that people have on social media, but I felt like in that moment I let myself down. I'm a child of divorce. I have a single mother. I didn't have the closest and healthiest relationship with my father growing up. I saw so much of the drama firsthand, and I promised myself I would never put another child through that. So I felt like here it is, history repeating itself. It's happening to me all over again. And I felt ashamed. I felt like you knew better, you should have done better. A word of advice to other single mothers or moms that might have been going through similar situations as mine: stop reading the comments. Stop going on social media and be kind to yourself. You made the right choice. You know that being in a relationship with somebody that's dishonest, disrespectful, or toxic in the long run is not better for your child. Just because something looks good to people on social media does not mean that it's actually healthy for you. And if it's not healthy for you, it is especially not healthy for the development of your child. We cannot normalize relationships that look good on the outside but are actually toxic and dangerous on the inside. You don't know the full totality of people and their situations. Don't mourn the loss of something that was not real to begin with. Personally,
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I'm going to end it there. That was beautiful. Don't let these people shame you. That's what they count on. That's what they count on. You being ashamed. Don't. Give your baby your last name if even if you are married. If you are married, keep your damn last name. If you plan on getting married, you're so happy to take on somebody else's name, like Portia's silly ass. You so happy to take on a scammer's last name, you don't even want to keep your grandfather's last name, and he got more fucking clout and integrity, or I don't know about integrity, but motherfucking legacy close to his name in American history, and you so happy to run around and take this scammer's last name, dumbass. Bro, you better give your babies, keep your last name if you get married. Cut all this patriarchy bullshit out. Keep your last name. You don't need to take on nobody's last name. You're not being bought and sold. Cut it out. Get a prenup if you want to do all this marriage stuff. All this taking a man's last name, that shit is all in patriarchy. That shows that he owns you. Cut it out. We got to cut all that shit out. Take it easy. Peace.